because of
You what?
I was doing some detective work on Comcast for my mother-in-law's apartment that we have in Coconut Creek.
You what?
In the condo that John's sister that we own
Uh-huh.
in Coconut
Uh-huh.
Creek, her parents, when after his mom died, we tried to get the name changed. We got mail, it was taken out of an account and everything. When the name changed, they said they couldn't do it without opening a new account. So we put it in John's dad's name. And now when he has to call John's sister, they really go by this still in this day. They don't ask you other things. They ask, your date of birth. And it's funny. So he's now like a 105-year-old guy at Comcast. And they don't seem to think of that in any. It just has to be this person that was
Oh my
a
goodness.
pain in the neck.
So, I don't know if you all know that Averill Kimball's husband Bob died, and he was a teacher in their town for many, many years. And she said, really interesting thing has happened. His students are all, from years and years and years are commenting on a page about what a wonderful guy he was, what a wonderful teacher, how much they learned from him. And a common thread was in that question list of, you know, what year were you born? What high school did you attend? And sometimes that question is what was your who was your favorite teacher? And all the students are commenting on how on their password, recovery questions, that their answer is Bob Kimball.
Oh,
And
Oh,
she
nice.
said that was just such a nice thing to see and such a surprise because you really don't think about the impact that you have, for years and years and years. So, yeah, his name's going to be showing up on that for a long time, and I think that's really cool. Anyway, so hi Marie,
Good
welcome.
morning.
We're going to do a slightly hybridized curriculum today because the we believe that Comcast is out, and so that's why there is hardly anybody here. Only the AT&T customers were able to make it into class. So we're going to do some cleaning light. We'll do heavy duty cleaning next week, and we'll do cleaning light this week. Wendy has a some issues because her storage is almost used up in her device, and so we're going to talk about how to help her with that. So, first of all, do you have Android or Apple?
Well, my desktop, I think I don't really know.
Okay, so we're not talking about your phone, we're talking about your computer.
My computer, my
Oh,
HP
okay, okay.
desktop computer. Yeah.
That makes it fun. So are you looking at us on your computer right now?
No, I'm on my laptop.
Okay. So you have a laptop and you have a desktop. So you have one
Yeah.
that has like the big tower and everything.
Yes.
How old
Yes.
is that?
Well, it's probably 10 years.
Okay. So there are things that you can do to help with things like that. A couple of things we'll say first though is that things these days that are 10 years old are going to have somewhat limited capacity in what they can handle in today's technology world. The actual physical components on the inside, um, besides the fact that they actually do wear out, hard drives spin like a record player, right?
Right.
So physical components do wear out, as they do in laptops as well. Anything that, all of our devices have hardware, the stuff you can actually touch, and then the software, which is the programs that run these things. So the hardware does wear out, and the the capacity of the hardware to process the information that today's world has is very, very different. If you think about, let's see, 2015. When I think about 2015 and how different everything was back then and how much technology has advanced at a rapid rate, it almost feels like an exponential rate these days. Morning, Andy. You're muted. You're in the car. Good to see you this morning. He's muted. If you unmute, we'll figure out what's going on with you. Oh, and Kathy's coming too. That's interesting. All right. So that being said, we're going to be able to do some good things with your old device. Now, let's talk. I know Linda just got a brand new computer. Kathy's looking for a new computer. How many other people in the room have an older computer? Something, say, Kath, are you still using it, Kathy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
the problem. 'Cause
Okay. Good. Good. Now,
it's 9 years.
all right. All right. Wendy's
And
got you
John,
beat. She
too.
thinks hers is 10.
And
Jackie,
John,
did you get rid of your desktop?
I did.
Okay. Linda got a brand new one. Teresa, what have you got?
My,
What do you got for a computer? Oh, you muted yourself again.
okay.
Weird.
I have, mine's 4 years old.
Okay, so not
It's
bad.
it's a Mac.
Okay, it's a Mac. And I know Kathy's is a PC. Wendy, do you know the name brand on the outside of your computer?
Yeah, I just came back here to it. It's a HP.
Okay,
Mine's an
Yeah.
HP.
okay. And Marie, do you have a computer or a
Yeah,
laptop?
I have a laptop.
Okay, all right. So all of these things will apply anyway. And Terry, what do you have?
well, I don't use it very much. John has a laptop that I think 3 years he's been saying he's getting a new one and he has no clue. And when kids come to visit, they send me, I'll just get it for you right now. I'm gonna fix it up. It'll get here and fix it up. I'm not
Terry,
ready.
let them do that
Oh,
for
I
you.
want them to, but he doesn't ready. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'll bet if it showed up, he wouldn't complain about
Of
it.
course he wouldn't know.
Betsy, mine is a laptop. It's not a,
Okay.
so
Not
I
you
didn't
don't have
use.
the tower, it's just a laptop.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because laptops today, because everything has gotten smaller, more computing power with less space is really what a lot of technology is about. And so having a laptop that's that old is pretty interesting. How much do you use it?
Every Wednesday.
So you do use it. Oh, okay. What's that say about this class?
Now I try, actually this week I've had to type up some stuff. And I need to be on it more. I
Okay.
need to do things but I'm
right.
in my closet, you have to remember. So
So what I didn't plan for was this, but I think that what we're going to look at in terms of cleaning up files is all kind of a universal thing. What I did focus on was mobile devices, phones, iPads and that kind of thing, but we will just translate. So when we're dealing with a non-Mac computer, which is everybody except for one, right?
Me.
Right. You have a Mac. Do you have storage spaces in your storage problems with yours?
I did, and I took it up to Peter at the Pro Computers,
Yep.
and I had so much stuff on there. He says, "You don't need all this stuff. I'll clean it up for you." So he got me squared away.
All right. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning. May I ask her, I'm coming in late. Teresa, what was your problem that he cleaned up and fixed?
Well, every time I would sign on, I couldn't get into my mail, but because it said storage is full, you need to delete items, and I kept doing that and deleting my mail, and then it just kept popping up. I couldn't really get
Okay.
access to it.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. All right. So because all these systems run very similarly, we're going to go ahead and look at a couple of lists that I have from articles that are going to apply, slightly different lingo, but it's going to apply. So we're going to look at, for now, we're going to look at the Android options for this. And let me just pull up The first ones, all right. And even though it says that this is for Android phones, ignore that part because computer systems are computer systems and your phone is a computer. So this one, first of all, I want you all to note that this article was written in 2016. So kind of old information. That doesn't mean that it's irrelevant, but we kind of always do want to pay attention to what is it talking about. So the first thing it says is clear your cache. In a phone or in a computer, a cache is apps and information that's stored and it's not really active information until you go back to something. So it's saying on your phone, clearing your app cache is the first place to go. Well, older computers didn't have apps, right? They just ran programs. So slightly different. Apps are a newer thing. So if we look at a phone and it says, if you go to an app and I don't even know if they made this up, Allo, well, you have two options of clearing your data or clearing your cache. Don't really want to clear your data because that's annoying if you're going to go back into something. If you're going to, let's say it's something that you use, and I don't know, like I said, what Allo is. I don't know if that's a made up thing or not. It sort of looks fake, but if you're clearing your data and you've got, your username and password, your login and all of that stored in there, that's going to be annoying to have to go in and enter every time. We like the convenience of having our devices store some data, but the cache is data that you're not going to need. It's not going to affect how you go into that app or go into that website. So if we look, we can see that the data has 23 megabytes, but the cache has 49 megabytes. So that's a lot. So if you were to clear the cache on a particular, and this one is app, but we can clear it on your computer as well, you're going to give yourself some space. In apps, each app is going to have a certain amount of cache. And so that's what they're talking about. If you went to each one and cleared the cache, you would free up a whole lot of space. 49, say 50 megabytes isn't a lot, but when you add that to, 40 or 50 apps, that starts to add up. So that's one suggestion. And it says, how do you do this? So we're going to see if this pathway is the same for a computer as it is for a phone in 2016. So it says, go to settings, go to applications, go to app manager, tap on the app you want to modify, and tap storage and clear cache. Well, that's going to be different because, like I said, on an older computer, you're not looking at apps. Newer computers do operate with apps, but older ones, they are not. So we're going to just take this. We're going blind here. We're going to go to my settings, and I'm going to need you all to tell me if you can see the new screen. What are you looking at?
Internal storage.
Internal storage, yeah.
Okay, good. You can see this.
Oh.
You can see where it says home, Betsy's laptop.
No.
No,
Okay.
don't see that.
Okay.
The blue stripe
Available
is
space,
internal
8.28.
storage.
So what I have to do, I just need to know because for some reason Zoom doesn't like it if I go from one page to another page to another page. So I have to go back out and then go back in. So now I can go back in, share where I actually was, and you can see it says home and Betsy's laptop, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now you can see that. Okay. So
Yes.
then what I'm going to do, I'm not going to look around. I would imagine that it's going to be in system, but what I'm going to do is look at storage. That's the easiest thing. So
Yes.
I have storage settings, automatic file download privacy, turn on storage sense. Now remember, this is, well, it's probably a 5-year-old laptop. It's not 10, but it's probably 5. So I have some choices here. I have settings, I have managed storage spaces. So lots and lots of things potentially that I can look at. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at manage storage spaces. Why not? And pools, add a new storage pool. I have no idea what that means. Storage spaces group drives together in a storage pool and then use a capacity from the pool to create virtual drives called storage spaces. This helps protect your data from drive failure. Interesting. And I can go to learn more, and it's going to give me a whole article on storage spaces in Windows. So if you are using Windows, helps you protect your data from drive storage and extend drive failures and extend storage over time as you add drives to your, okay, so I'm not adding any drives. You can use storage spaces to group two drives together. Okay, so this doesn't apply to me. I'm not adding any drives. So I'm going to go back and let's see if it takes me right back to where I was. Storage spaces in Windows, it's not. All right, so I have to go. Now I don't know what you're looking at because it took
It's
away my
staying.
settings. Oh, there we are. All right, so you're looking at where it says system storage spaces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that one doesn't apply. Sadly, my little menu went away, so I'm going to type in storage again. So that one didn't work. Change how storage sense frees up space. Well, let's look at what storage sense is. That kind of interests me. So this is cool. It shows me how much space do I have. I have used 110 gigabytes. I have 127 free. So I have more than half. Then that's pretty darn good. Installed apps, 9 gigabytes out of 110. So that's not using up a lot of space. Temp files, very, very little, 284 megabytes. So that's very tiny. And obvious, oh, it's, okay, there it goes. It was still calculating it all. 8 gigabytes out of 110. That's still not much, but notice that I can go on any of these and look and see more. So if I go to this arrow and I look at temp files, it's going to tell me exactly what my storage is with temporary files. I can remove these. Windows upgrade log files, a lot of technical information that I'm not going to bore the class with right now. But there's lots of things in here that I probably don't need. And I can just remove files. It says some of the files are needed by apps. Below is a list of files you can remove right now. Up to 101 megabytes may not be reclaimable. Windows reserves some storage to ensure proper performance and success of updates. So what that means to me is that it's going to be kind of hard to make a mistake here. It says that my computer is going to hold back some stuff and not let me delete things that I shouldn't by accident. So notice that downloads is not checked. It says these files are in your personal downloads folder. Select this if you'd like to delete everything. So this is something we're going to look at in a minute. 7.6 gigabytes, that's kind of a lot. Windows upgrade log files help identify and troubleshoot problems. It says I can get rid of this, but it does say deleting these files can make it difficult to troubleshoot installation issues. So I'm going to unselect that one because I wouldn't want that kind of problem. Delivery optimization. Have no idea what this is. Used to download updates from Microsoft. Stored in a dedicated cache to be uploaded to other devices on your network. You may safely delete these files if you need the space. There's the key word right there. Okay, so I could free up, it's not very much, but okay. Windows Update Cleanup. Let's just get to the bottom line. It says you might need this to restore your computer. Compresses older versions of updates that are no longer needed and are taking up space. Might need this to restart your computer. Okay, I'm gonna unselect that one because it's only 380 megabytes. Thumbnails of all your pictures, videos, documents displayed quickly when you open up a folder. If you delete these thumbnails, they will be automatically recreated as needed. Cool. So that means I don't need it at all. Okay, so if I needed something, it would be recreated. Recycle bin. Files I have deleted from my computer. These files are not permanently removed until you empty the recycle bin. So that reminds me another place I can go back So let's look back up here a minute. There were two things that we said we were going to do. Your download file is somewhere where I'm going to go back. So I'm going to leave a note on that for downloads. And then the other thing is the recycle bin. So it's already telling me here's two places that I can clean up stuff separate from here. Temp files. These can be cleaned up manually if the app doesn't do it. So sure, why not? Not very much space. Notice as we go down, it's descending in how much space it is. System error mini dump. Well, that sounds like a good thing to get rid of, and it says I can, so I'm going to go ahead. DirectX shader cache. Cleanup files created by graphics system which speed up application load time and improve responsiveness. They will be regenerated as needed. Okay. It's not very much. 2 megabytes is not much. Temporary internet files, web pages stored on your hard disk for quick viewing. Personalized settings for web pages are left intact, so anything that I bookmark isn't going to change anything. Windows error reports and feedback diagnostics, don't need any of that. So, and then I also have update settings, which I can go into, but I'm not going to do that right now because we're just looking at getting rid of some stuff. So now if I go back up here, I'm going to say remove files. So here we go. And you all can see my page that I've been reading, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
remove files. And then it asks me again, selected files and their data will be permanently deleted. All right, that's a scary space to be in, right? But I read everything. I looked to see whether or not I should do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And it says purging, and there it is. It says okay, Windows reserves some storage for proper performance and successful updates to your device. And then I can read an article about how storage reserve works if I want to know that. And so now I've freed up some space. It would be really nice if it just told me how much space I freed up. That would be kind of cool. It did not. All right. So I'm going to stop right there and check and see if we have any questions on what I just did and why. Wendy, did that make sense to you?
Yep, I did it.
Ooh, she's
But I
brave and
still-
bold.
But it's a very scary thing to do. I think we could all
Yeah.
agree. It's like, oh boy, what if I remove something, blah, blah, blah. So,
It is, but there were a couple of places in
It
here
didn't
it
free up
assured me
much.
it was going to dummy proof it for me. It
Yeah.
was going to make sure I didn't get rid of something that I would need. And I
Yeah.
unselected a couple of them, you know, some choices I made. And that really, because those were all in megabytes, that didn't really give me a whole lot of storage space. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
I'm
back.
still, I have
Yes.
28 gigabytes free on my computer, and I think I have 117 gigabytes of apps and features. So I think I need to delete apps and features.
Okay. So let's go back. Now we're going to go share screen. We'll go back to settings and pull this up. All right. So now, let's go. There was one other one that really intrigued me, Wendy, that I thought would be useful for you, which is turn on storage sense. So let's see what that is. As it pulls it all up again and tells me what I've got. I should have paid closer attention to what the numbers were on the side here, to see how much I gained. All right, storage sense, I already have it on. So in your settings, you know, going to storage, looking at this menu that came up on the side of what's available for me to change in terms of storage. It says storage sense automatically frees up space, deletes temporary files, and manage local available cloud content. So I click the arrow on the side and I've already got that on. And here it's going to
Yeah.
give me more information about it. Storage sense runs when disk space is low. We clean up enough space to help your system run at its best. We cleaned up 0 bytes of space because I have lots of space in mine. But Wendy, it would be, and anybody else, you know, who has a Windows operating system, take a look and see if you have storage sense. If you're doing updates as you should with any of your devices, you should have the latest features that are possible with the device that you have. What that means is some older stuff, like I said, doesn't have the capacity to do everything that newer things do. But let's see. Configure cleanup schedules, run storage space during low free disk space. That's the default. What are my other options? I can do this on a schedule. I can do it every day, every week, every month. So that might be something for people who have computers that say you have very little space. You know, if you did it every day, then that would constantly be cleaning up your space. Delete files in my recycle bin if they've been there for over, and this is a choice. 30 days is the default. I just left it there. Sometimes I'll go in and just clean out my recycle bin on, you know, on purpose, but you can also do it after every day. So these are things that you can set that's going to give you your maximum available of cleaning that you literally don't have to do. Your computer's going to do for you once you set this setting. Delete files in my download folders if they haven't been open for more than. Now, let's talk about this one for a minute. This is something that I use all the time, and it's probably pretty full because I say never. When I'm downloading something on my computer, it's because I'm working on things. You can do it on a schedule as frequently as you like. If you've taken something and downloaded it and used it and then put it somewhere else, then you don't have to keep it in your download folder. I personally keep things in my download folder because I use them repeatedly. So we're going to look at that in a minute. Local available cloud content. It says storage space can be freed up by moving unused cloud-backed storage. Always keep on this device, will not be affected. You can read more about it. And then my phone content will become online only if not open more than, and this is never. So this is also because I have connected my phone to my computer. That's why this is showing up. So I can run Storage Sense right now, which is going to do any of these things that I have up here, but they're already fine. I don't need to empty my recycle bin. If I'm going to empty my recycle bin, I'm going to go look at it first. All right, let's look at apps for a minute, Wendy, since you said
Okay.
that was the one. Installed apps. So these are all of my apps. And if I look at my apps, now here's where it gets a little bit tricky because with some of these, I honestly don't know if I need them or not. I'm going to guess if I don't know what they are, I need them because, oh, and let me make sure. Can you see this on my screen?
Yes.
Apps,
Yes.
installed apps, because I don't know what this is. Driver setup utility. That sounds pretty darn important. All right, driver, what is that? That's, you know, like my C drive is my hard drive on my computer. So I think that just by reading the words, this means this is pretty important to me. A utility, you know, is going to be a tool, a driver setup. Yeah, I think I need that. But I'm a curious person, and I know that going to these 3 dots over here aren't going to do anything bad and probably going to give me information. Okay, so my only choice in this is uninstall. I'm not going to click that because I'm pretty sure I need my driver setup utility. All right, Acer Collection S. I have no idea what that is. So that means I didn't download it. It does give me an advanced option, so I'm going to go there and see. All right, what is it? App permissions. Location is on. I still don't know what this is. Battery storage, defaults, terminate. Tells me nothing about what this is. So I'm going to leave it alone because Acer is my computer, right? So I'm going to pretty much guess that this is what I need as well. Rather than going back on my back arrow, because I'm not sure how far that's going to take me back, here's my path of where I went to. I'm in apps, installed apps, and now I'm in this little window. I'm just going to click here, which takes me back to my installed apps. All right, Adobe Acrobat. I need that. I know that I need that. I put it there. I'm skipping these things that I'm pretty sure I need to make my computer run. Let's go down. Do I need both of these? Adobe Acrobat is 1 GB, which is kind of a lot. Adobe Reader Touch.
Well, you've had that one since 2021.
Yep. And so I'm not sure if I need it or not. Adobe Reader Touch. I have a touchscreen, so I don't see how that's going to affect anything if I were to get rid of this, and I can always reinstall it. Remember, that's one of the key things. Background app permissions, battery storage.
Betsy, I just have a quick question. When
Yeah.
you say I can always reinstall it, where would you go to how would you find it to know to reinstall it?
Okay, great question.
Mhm.
So this one is called Adobe Reader Touch. So we're going to stop the share for a minute.
Sorry.
No,
I
it's a
thought-
great question.
Okay.
It's a great question. So here's where I would go, and
Mhm.
we'll see where it takes me. Let's share the screen, and we're going to go just do a search. And we're going to go to Adobe Reader Touch app. All right, Adobe Reader mobile app. Download the free Adobe Reader app to view and interact with your documents on iPad, iPhone, and Android, and keep moving. So basically, Adobe's come a long ways. I'm going to stop the share for a minute. Adobe is a program that I've never bought because it's too expensive. I'm not interested in it, and the Reader has always been free.
Mm.
With the Reader, you can read any PDF file, right? So
Mhm.
somebody sends you a file. If I'm going to download a file that I want to share with people, and I don't want people to mess with what I've done in that file, I do it as a PDF because Adobe is expensive, and unless you professionally use it, most people don't have the one where you can change things in my document. So I know it's a pretty quick, easy way to send people stuff where they're not going to make any changes in something. They can if they have Adobe, but if you get documents that you have to sign, documents for any kind of legal transactions,
Mhm.
they are often done as through Adobe. And they will send you a file that's encoded so that you can fill in the boxes. You know, I'll say like a job application I've seen where it's got, fill in and it's blue. It's generally highlighted in blue and you can fill that in. Or it'll have a signature box where you can either just type it in and that's collected as an electronic signature, or you can actually do a touchpad signature where you sign it. So those are things that with Adobe now you can do some changes. You can make some edits to that if the person sending it to you sends you the edited version.
Mhm.
Editable, the version you can edit. I have no idea what the word is. So if that's the case, then do I still need the Adobe Acrobat Reader?
Mm.
Probably not, because I have the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to boldly delete the Reader. And I'm going to bank on that the other one is going to take care of anything I need because it's an updated version. And going back to, let's go right back to the little website here where we looked, and it says mobile app. When I click on this, so this one's just the Reader. When I click on this, and I scroll down. Okay, so this is pretty funny. So now it's really pushing you to get it on your phone. Here's the QR code, and you can literally just point your phone camera at it and put it on your phone. I don't need it on my phone. What I wanted to do was to download the app here. And I think that it's not letting me do it because this one is the mobile app. Right? And so that's why they're giving me QR codes. So this was not the one that I need. Let's go back and let's see Acrobat Reader, the original PDF solution. So we're going to click on that. This one's probably going, yep, there it is, right there. So the other one was to get it on your phone. They made it very easy to be looking at a computer, scan the QR code, get it on your phone. Here it is. Here's the answer, Kathy. You're going to download it right here. This is just Acrobat Reader. And it says I can view, sign, and comment and collaborate free.
Okay.
And that's the key there. So I could, download. I already have it, so I don't need it. But there it is if I decide that I want to do it. oftentimes when, let me see if this will allow me to go back to my, okay, can you see my app screen now? Or
I
you,
don't think.
you're
we
still
sh-
looking at Adobe?
Yes.
Yes.
I really had hoped at some point in time Zoom would fix that,
Mm.
where I don't have to go in and out. All right, so now you can see my app screen, yes?
Not yet.
Not
Now.
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, so going back to my original question, the big leap, so as Linda, I think, pointed out, this is a 2025 version, this is a 2021 version.
Mhm.
This is Adobe Acrobat in general, takes up 1 GB. This is very, very small. So is it going to gain me anything? No, not really. But what it is going to do is be a great example of, okay, I don't want this anymore. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to free up space. It's not that scary. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to go and to uninstall. And it says this app and its related info will be uninstalled. So it's checking with you. Do you really want to uninstall this? And I say uninstall, and it says it's uninstalling it. And boom, there it goes. It's gone. Okay. Now, I have no idea whether or not I've affected anything negatively in my world here, because I still have Adobe Acrobat. And so
Mhm.
I'm fairly certain that I'm not going to have any problems. We're going to go to my download folder because I know I have some Adobe Acrobat, some PDF files there. And so we'll look and see if we can open that. But you see how easy it was to delete an app, and it was something that I checked first to make sure, can I easily get this back? So yes, I can. Let's look at some other apps while we're here. App Explorer, yeah, I'm gonna leave that. Calculator, I really only use my phone, but it's only 16 kilobytes, very, very small, so I'm not going to get rid of that. Canva I use. Care Center, I have no idea what it is, but it sounds like because it was made by Acer Corporation, this is something I need. I have an Acer computer. Care Center Service, again, Acer, so I'm going to leave that. Clock, yeah, I like my clock on my computer, not taking that off. Microsoft Copilot, which is the AI, takes up very little space. I'm leaving it. Dropbox promotion. I have no idea what that is. I am going to uninstall it. And there we go. Because I have I have a Dropbox account, but I don't need something like that because Dropbox is now all cloud-based and I can just go right to dropbox.com and get what I need. Same thing with Evernote. Evernote is something like Dropbox that someone had recommended to me, because that was what they used. I've never used it. I put it on my computer just so I could play with it with them. So I'm going to uninstall Evernote. I've got nothing saved there. All right. Express VPN. VPN is, I'm not using this one, so kind of interesting, but it's only 1 megabyte, so I'm going to leave it. Family by Microsoft. Don't really need that, but we're going to speed up things now. Feedback Hub. Can't remember why I put that down. There's quite a few in here, though. I'm going to look and see, do I need these? Ooh, but this one drives me crazy. Grammarly for Windows drives me insane. It was useful at one point in time. Now it just tells me, yes, I want to uninstall it. And notice it asked me because Grammarly put that in there. You really want to uninstall this? Yes, I do. You're annoying and you tell me I know how to spell better than Grammarly does, so I don't need that. Ooh, and now Grammarly says, why? Why? Can you see that it went to a new screen?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm going to stop this for a minute so you can see this because this is an unexpected pop-up. So Grammarly said, no,
Oh.
don't go, don't go.
Oh.
Help us improve. So why do you uninstall Grammarly? I'm happily going to tell them. It gets in my way. It gets in the way. And let's see if it lets me tell other things. I don't want to create an account. Good. It lets me tell all the reasons why I don't like it. Okay, you're going to make me give more information. I'm not going to do that. Doesn't work. I have privacy. I get too many ads. Yep, that one too. No, I'm not going to tell you more. I'm not interested in premium, which is what it does all the time. Says, do you want premium content? Do you all know what Grammarly is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't.
No, what is it?
Grammarly is a grammar app.
Oh.
So as I'm typing things, it tells me a better way to say it. And
Oh,
and I just can't stand it. And oftentimes its grammar is not very useful.
did
And
you
so
see
I'm
the
just
kid's picture? He looks like he's 12 years old.
Mhm.
Okay, boomer.
Hey, Betsy.
All right, so I'm going to stop the share so I can get out of Grammarly. So right there, Wendy, I took out some apps.
I have a question.
Yes.
Dropbox,
Yep.
I went to delete it because it's annoying too. It always does pop-ups, and I did use it for a while when I was working. Now I'm retired, and so it took me, I don't know if I can show you this, but it took me to, I deleted it and it took me to everything I have in Dropbox.
Uh-huh.
We can't see it.
Oh, you
Yeah, all
can't-
we see is a white screen, but it took you to it's the angle. Okay, yep. So those are all your files in Dropbox.
Yeah,
Okay. That
So-
doesn't look like cloud-based though. That looks like that's on your computer.
yes.
Yes. So if you look at the top of that screen, hang on a second. Let me mimic where you are so that all right, let's just all right, I'm going to mimic where you are, so hopefully we can file along without being able to see what you're actually looking at, but we can work together on that because this is a good way to go. So everybody, can you see my screen that says segment preview?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to my, let's see. Let's go to this PC. All right. If I go to this PC, there's my hard drive, right? And when I
Yes.
click on my hard drive, okay, it's going to open up my hard drive. So this is just showing me how things are organized in my computer, right?
Right.
So I've got program files and things like that. So on the sidebar, Wendy, this left-hand
Yes.
side, where are you on the left-hand side?
It's under Wendy. So I would go to the users where you are, and then it goes to Wendy,
Yep.
and then it has desktop,
Okay.
documents, downloads, Dropbox.
Oh, okay. So Dropbox has its own folder. Okay.
Yes.
So for instance, if I go here to documents, and you can see where you actually are is because this is highlighted. Now, can you all see what I've done?
Yes.
Documents is blue, and then this shows me folders with documents in them.
Mhm.
All kinds of,
Yes.
some of it's just floating. I didn't bother to put them in something, and then others I organized them and actually put them in folders. So you're in documents, but is documents under Dropbox like it's part of it? Or it's its own folder here on the side?
Yeah, it's under Wendy, because if I click on Wendy and nothing shows, then you know what I'm saying, then I click on Wendy and then everything comes up.
Okay. So that's just
it's-
because you have different you
Yeah.
have different users on the computer, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's why you're clicking Wendy. That was created as a path for you to find your stuff. So just kind of like we're going to assume you're in the Wendy box, and then
Yes.
in the Wendy box you are at the Dropbox. So
Yes.
I'm going to guess. So if we just look at my documents for a minute, if I look at, let's see, let's pick up one here. Let's just say Computers 101. I have no idea what's in this folder. We're going to open it. Okay, so in Documents, and you can see up at the top, this is your path, right? At the very
Yeah.
top where it has, you know, I'm in my computer and I'm in the Documents folder. And then I'm in the computers 101 within my documents folder. Do
Yeah.
you see the path up top?
Yes.
So what have you got up top there?
Wendy Dropbox.
Okay. All right. And then within Dropbox, if we're looking at my screen for a minute here, and it says Betsy's resume simple, all right, and it says when it was modified, what kind of document it is, and how big it is.
Yes.
So tell me the first line that you have in your Dropbox thing, or any line, it doesn't matter, but tell me.
It's a folder that says 100 Apple. And the date is 2023 file folder. The
Okay.
size, it doesn't say a size.
Okay, so because it's a folder, so let me back up a minute. I'm going to go back to documents. So you see here, I
Yeah.
went into a folder and notice it doesn't show me a size.
Okay, so I
Right.
go into, I
So
go
go
into there.
into that folder. So
And
you're
there's a
just
whole
gonna put
bunch of IMGs,
images.
images, okay.
Yeah. And so now do you see size?
Yeah,
Okay. How big
Wow.
are they?
they're like 1,710 gigabytes each.
Kilobytes?
I mean, yeah, kilobytes,
Okay. KB.
baby. Mhm.
Okay, that's not huge. Like I have a PowerPoint presentation here that's 5,000 kilobytes, but some of these other documents, you know, a simple resume is only 77 kilobytes. That's very, very small. So on these, what my suggestion to do, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the share for a minute. My suggestion is to go ahead and open one of those files
Yes,
and look and see what is it
yeah,
and does it matter to you anymore?
I see, yeah.
If it's totally work related and you don't need any of that, I would go in and sample each of your little files, you know, like you don't have to look at every single thing in your Dropbox folder, but I would do some sampling, you know,
I see.
within this path, what's in here? What is this important to you? Did you store anything personal in the Dropbox that you might need in the future? I'd scan through, and then if you kind of, after doing a sampling, go, yep, nope, this was all about work and I don't need this anymore. Boom, it's done. Now, let me ask you this. Work was y'all's business, right?
Yes,
Yes. So, when did you retire?
3 years ago.
Okay. Somebody help me who knows a little bit more about law with taxes and the IRS. Aren't we supposed to keep things for 7 years?
7 years,
7 years.
seven.
So here's the problem, Wendy. If any of this has to do with jobs that you've done with your business, then
Yeah.
you may need to keep that for 7 years because you may need it to prove something in the future. So
Betsy, wouldn't that be something you could put on a flash drive or?
that's just what I was going to do.
Okay.
I was going to pull this up, Wendy.
Yeah.
Get yourself a flash drive, an empty flash drive that has enough space. So this is a really fun thing because you're able to, by looking at your files, you know exactly how much space you need. How much space does the Dropbox folder take up? How much is there?
I guess I need to go
Go back.
back.
Yep. If you go back, let me go ahead and share again and just make sure. So if I'm looking at this, if I go back one and go back to documents, and like she said, you can't see how big it is. But if
No.
I right click, I'll bet I can.
Hmm.
If I
Huh.
right click, I can go down and properties. Yep. And properties
Okay.
is going to tell me how much space it is. So
8.15 gigabytes.
8.15. So that's a lot. That you know, mine, this little folder that I looked at is 5 megabytes, which is very, very tiny. So, you know that you need a flash drive that's at least 8 gigabytes. That's pretty easy, right? And so then you
Yes.
get a flash drive, and that one's just going to be for this, and store it
Okay.
wherever you store your taxes or your legal stuff, and you go, okay,
Okay.
if ever I need this information, here it is, and I'm covered.
Okay.
Just a point, I ended up putting like a little keychain type of thing and wrote what it is. Because you think you remember like the year that I did it and
Exactly.
exactly what it is. So like
Exactly.
I
add a-
have a baggie
Per-
full of.
I know. I've got it right up there too.
Label
So-
them, label them,
And this
absolutely.
is, I mean, I have gone through my computer and I've labeled them on here, telling
Nice.
what's all on each of these.
Awesome. Ooh, she's one of us. She's compulsive.
I know.
You're making us
I'm
look bad.
Crazy about labeling and doing all that. So
I
I think
love
I
it.
can handle that.
I love it.
I often joke to people too. I think I've printed out the internet. People
I
send
mean,
me a document and it's 40 pages. I'm like, well, 2 sides, it's 20 pieces of paper. I'm printing that out. I have to look at it.
I'm in your club.
Terry.
For years, at work, I'd use the sticky paper on the computer, like could come out of a joke, a New Yorker comic or anything like that. How many reminders I needed, even when I had a cell phone, I'd put the tapes, and if the sticky didn't work, I put tape on it. So I absolutely would not forget my phone or my keys or something to put it all together. And now I feel like I was going to ask you when you were at Grammarly,
Grammarly. Grammarly.
if AI takes the place of a lot of those things, because I even
Yeah.
saw on the bottom of Skype today, Zoom today, when I was trying to change the screen, I saw there was something that says AI. I didn't press it or anything, but
It's
on
it's
Zoom,
AI
but-
companion. I'm
okay.
gonna hit it right now.
Okay,
I did, and it says, and you can't see it because it's showing up. So it says AI companion from this panel. Manage AI tools for your meetings in a single place. Catch me up. Was my name mentioned? Are there any action items and what topics have been discussed? So I'm going to say catch me up. See what happens. It's analyzing. This is a little frightening.
that's why I said that. I never thought that would come out of my mouth, that it,
Going on in the other room.
Okay, so the result it gives me. Joy attempts to interact with an AI meeting tool interface, trying to access AI companion features and meeting management tools, but encounters visibility issues with display. Next
Well, we don't-
steps.
We don't see what you see though.
No,
That's
you
why-
can't. I'm reading it to you. It says next steps, Joy Center, review and manage AI tools for meetings. Okay.
I don't know how many we're having trouble with transportation. And then we finally got on transportation, but that's when they're
I think that's Maria.
Oh, I'll mute her. There we go.
you're on and the other.
So that
know-
didn't do much, but yes, Terry, so much of what we're using has AI built into it. So yeah, I don't need Grammarly. Kathy.
I was just thinking, because I was Zooming through the pandemic with my students. They would probably, I can just imagine how that would be beneficial for them.
For sure, for sure.
They would be
and-
navigating that really fast.
And right now, I just saw the article. I didn't read it yet, but there is some push about how AI is really beneficial for students and not taking away their ability to learn. That it actually almost works as a teaching tool. So yeah, it's not all bad.
No.
We are actually out of time again, and
Good
we are going to
class.
pick up
Good
the rest
class.
of this conversation next week. We're gonna, Wendy, did we do enough to help you? Okay, good. And
Yes.
so we don't
I'm-
normally look at PCs, so that's kind of cool. I love your question. Because it's just something we kind of ignore because we're so mobile these days. But next week, I will be looking at physically cleaning the outside of our devices, as well as doing some cleanup on the inside that is strictly for mobile.
Great.
If you have
Okay.
any questions, send them to me in advance and we will carry on and hopefully the fires all get cleaned up and you all can travel freely again.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Have a great day.